Kai Soto, you need to get on the San Antonio Spurs. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans and Kai Soto fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. I've talked at length about Kai Soto's size, his skills, etc. However, right now, I don't think there's a better moment in time for him to sign with the San Antonio Spurs and the San Antonio Spurs to sign him. I'm going to give my 3 reasons why the Spurs should sign him and also 3 reasons why Kai should sign with them. While I'm doing so, drop a comment down below. Do you agree with any of these reasons? Do you disagree? Hit that thumbs up if you like to support a fellow Kai fan and subscribe for more Kai content. And also, if you're a San Antonio Spurs fan, obviously subscribe to the channel. Anyway, 3 reasons the San Antonio Spurs should sign him. Number one, they need a big man. Currently on their roster, they only have 2 bigs. Jakob Poeltl, who has only 1 year left on his contract, and Zach Collins, who has a long injury history. They need a big man. What better time than right now to bring in Kai Soto? Number two, the youth movement. The Spurs right now have committed to a complete rebuild, and they have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 players on their roster that are 19 years old. Joshua Primo, Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, and Blake Wesley. Kai Soto just turned 20 this year in May. He perfectly fits in with our youth movement. And number 3, the San Antonio Spurs need a marketable player. Look, this is still a business in the end, and the Spurs have no stars right now. Their one all-star, DeJounte Murray, was traded to the Atlanta Hawks this week. They need somebody to sell jerseys. And I think if they draft Kai Soto, Spurs Kai Soto jerseys will fly off the shelves. I'm not so confident their other rookies, Jeremy Sohan, Blake Wesley, and Malachi Branham, are going to sell a ton of jerseys until they get out on the court and show they can do something. Kai doesn't have to prove anything. He's going to sell a ton of jerseys, so that's a win for the Spurs, and obviously for him as well. But there's also 3 reasons that I think Kai Soto should sign with the San Antonio Spurs. The first one, the biggest one, get in the NBA. I don't care how you get there, who, what, when, where, why, and how. Get yourself in the NBA and then prove to the team that brought you in and the other teams in the league that you belong there and that you are going to stay there. So just get in there and show off your skills. Number 2, this is a big one, develop his game. The Spurs have done a fantastic job at developing youth, and Kai Soto himself recently said, yes, there's things I can work on my game. And you look at the Spurs' history of players that have developed through their system, and whether they stay with the San Antonio Spurs, like a David Robinson and Tim Duncan, and those, of course, are the anomalies. They were going to be great regardless of where they went, but players like Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, then other recent players who were Spurs and left and found success, like Kawhi Leonard, left the Spurs, won a title with the Toronto Raptors. Bryn Forbes left the Spurs, went to the Milwaukee Bucks, won a title. Derek White left the Spurs and went to the NBA Finals with the Boston Celtics. Quinndary Witherspoon, drafted by the Spurs, went to the Golden State Warriors and is an NBA champion. So the Spurs have a legacy of having great players on their franchise and winning titles, or great players, or maybe even average players, going somewhere else and finding success. And then I just mentioned legacy. That's the third one, legacy. The San Antonio Spurs, legendary big men, David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Imagine, if you will, let's live the dream here. And Kai Soto becomes one of the greatest Spurs of all time, has an amazing 15-year career, we'll say, and wins 1 chip, 2 chips, whatever. Imagine having your name amongst that company when people look back and say, man, the Spurs have had some of the greatest big men in the history of the game. David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Kai Soto. Now, a lot of that's going to happen. A lot of things are going to have to happen for Kai to join that company of David Robinson and Tim Duncan, and he's not there yet. Clearly, he's never played in the NBA, and I'm talking about 2 Hall of Fame NBA champions. But just to have the opportunity to have your name mentioned with them, I think that's pretty cool. Not to mention the fact Kai Soto obviously watched Tim Duncan growing up. So I hope this happens. The Spurs have the roster room. They need a big guy, and they need something positive. The rebuild is fun, it's interesting, but they also need, to get fans excited about something. And a lot of fans are very interested in what Kai Soto will bring in the NBA. And that includes non-San Antonio Spurs fans. So this is, I think, would be a great move for the team, but also for him to get in the NBA. That's the key. Just get in the NBA. Hopefully it's my San Antonio Spurs. Will it happen? Probably not everything that I've wanted to have happen with the San Antonio Spurs this year has not happened, but could it? You never know. With my team now, you never know what's going to happen. It's going to be an interesting summer, and I'm going to keep an eye on where he goes. Let me close the video with this to my Filipino viewers. I'm obviously covering Kai Soto, but he's not the only Filipino basketball player on the planet. There are other Filipinos in the NBA, and also there's been a lot of Filipino basketball. What I'm trying to say is, would you like me to cover other things related to Filipino basketball besides Kai Soto? I saw a video on YouTube called something like the greatest Filipino basketball player you've never heard of, or something similar like that. It had almost a 500,000 views, and it looked like it was something very interesting to watch. And I am going to watch it. However, would you guys be interested in me watching it and doing a reaction and commentary to something like that, and maybe covering other players like Jordan Clarkson or other Filipino players that might enter the NBA someday? Just throwing it out there. Like, you know what? I'm following one Filipino basketball player. I do have probably 20% of my audience is Filipino. Why not, show some interest? Which I do have interest, but why not have some fun and follow other players? So that's all I got. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I hope to see you in the silver and black soon, my man. Until next time, and as always, go Kai go!